So I did a story on New York City mayoral candidate Eric Adams. And why he's so fascinating is because he actually went blind. He had diabetes and he was eating poorly for a long time. And one day in 2016, he woke up and he couldn't see anything. New York City mayoral candidate Eric Adams, what a pleasure.
It's a pleasure speaking with you. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I lost my sight in my left eye. I had permanent nerve damage in my hands and feet that the doctor stated would lead to amputation.
And that scared him to death. What it did was set him on this journey towards reversing diabetes through the vegan diet. He transitioned his entire life. He stopped eating fried food, fast food, meat, sugar, junk food.
You can eat a healthy meal without denying yourself, because food has to look good, it has to taste good, and it has to be good for you.
Absolutely. That's so important. You know, the story really hit home for me. Family on both sides, my mother's side and my father's side, struggles with diabetes. My grandfather had his leg amputated. My father had his leg amputated. My grandmother had diabetes. People in my family who were pregnant had gestational diabetes. So it's definitely something that affects my home as well as the African American community. When I learned how Mr. Adams turned his life around, I really wanted to get into it because it could unfortunately affect me at some point. And it kind of broadened my eating habits, if you will. And his story actually inspired me to test out the vegan lifestyle. And guess what? It does not suck. It is not that bad. I actually really like it. I actually went to a vegan restaurant where they had no dairy or meat options. And I had vegan steak, which is oyster mushroom. Let me tell you, steakhouses, count your days. Now, don't get me wrong. I still do love a regular old steak, but the vegan steak, the oyster mushrooms were phenomenal. And then I had a vegan hamburger, and then French fries, my favorite food in the world. I really enjoyed it. I did not feel deprived. I was full, I was satisfied, and I want to go back. You know, as a journalist, I have the benefit of tapping into other people's lives and their stories, their habits, things they think, they believe, things they practice. And it really often inspires me as a person. You know, sometimes we as adults just get into a little bit of a routine. You wake up, you go to work, you work out, come home, TV, sleep again, you know, rinse and repeat. It's an ongoing cycle. But as a reporter, I get to tap into other people's stories and tap into other people's existences. And it inspires me to try new things. I want to potentially become a vegan.
I have an amazing 3-ingredient ice cream made out of frozen bananas, berries, fresh made peanut butter, and cacao powder. And let me tell you something, you will never do Haagen-Dazs again.
I don't know. I'm an ice cream person. So, I mean, if that recipe is in your book, I'm going to have to check it out because I live for ice cream. That sounds excellent.